I played Azumarill for more than 150 games straight. Oh boy. Do I have mixed feelings about this Pokemon. Anyway, hey! Back! It's your Pokemon Gems, GemzDesu, and today we are talking about what I honestly think about this Pokemon after playing 150 matches of hell, 150 matches with my Azuchan. So I'll be talking about how it is in games, its moves, should you buy it, and the Etika. Timestamps will be in the description. Keep in mind, this is just all based on my personal opinion, so, you know, all you Professor Oak maniacs, feel free to say what you say, of course, but I'll also kill an Oak. Anyway, let's dive into it. So let's talk about the cost, just the max 10k price. So make sure that you keep that in mind and don't become this guy. Look at my money, I got money. So how is it in the game? Well, yeah, okay, so well, the overall damage output is not great. So of course, one of the biggest selling points of this Pokemon is the passive ability. If you only hit one Pokemon, then it is always a critical, but if you hit 2 or more Pokemon at a time, then it's never a critical. Simples. Thanks to this ability though, yeah, I was able to win a lot of my 1v1s, but you won't win all your duels just because you hit them where it hurts every time, when it's just you and me. The critical damage isn't that great like Absol. If I remember, it's only 150% bonus, and you're pretty squishy because the critical damage isn't that great, and you don't do that much damage anyway, so I found myself, even though it's 1v1, if it's any tanky Pokemon like a defender, I would still lose. But if it's a squishy Pokemon, I would say you could win most 1v1s if their health or survivability or defense is average or below. Anything higher than average, you will still struggle even in 1v1, unless you play your moves very carefully. But that's 1v1s, and thanks to the ability, you are countered so easily just by an enemy helping their team out.
Why you bully me?
In team fights, yeah, you definitely feel your damage output is way lower, but not to the extent where you feel completely useless. But another thing I noticed, when you're against a bad team, you will wreck. Because, you know, you'll find lots of people out of position, usually by themselves, thinking that beating up the little crab or lobster, whatever you want to call it, is better than beating up the actual big bird that wins you most games. But again, this is Pokemon Unite. It is pretty rare to find a Pokemon just by themselves, as nearly everything in this is team fight based. So the best thing to do usually in team fights is, if you can, in all that craziness, is to try and focus on one Pokemon if you can. But you know, it doesn't help when the aiming in the game is bloody crazy. Alright, so let's move on to the moves. Water Pulse. You spit on the enemy and it bounces to another enemy. I did kind of feel the power of the bounces, and oddly satisfying to hear the bop, bop, bop in team fights. The little roll you do after you use the move, which was pretty useful because you could use it to avoid attacks, reposition yourself. I had some Dark Soul vibes in there. The Water Pulse as well, when it hits an enemy, it does decrease their movement speed. So this is really good because after you rolled, they will be slowed down. So you could either run away if you wanted to, or to, you know, keep a distance and then hit them with your a little long range Aqua Tail. It's also really nice that it has a very short cooldown timer with 4 seconds. Play rough. More like rough tickles. So the damage it does is yeah, quite mediocre. The attack also does stun the enemy for a very short time though, so it can be nice in 2v1 situations or if you want to catch up to them. The thing is, the attack itself is an attack that changes your basic attack, so it does take some time to get used to it if you're going to use it with Aqua Tail, because that's an attack that also changes your basic attack into 3 Aqua Tail attacks. Its main use though is the speed boost you get from it. So this allows you to maneuver around the map a little quicker. The main thing is you are able to catch up to Pokemon who try to run away from your diseased looking body. The main concern for me for this move is that I just wish it did a little more damage. So okay, let's move on to the other set of moves, Whirlpool and Aqua Tail. When it comes to choosing Whirlpool or Aqua Tail, in this time right now, I don't think there's a clear answer. You can't really go wrong with either choice. So I'm gonna repeat, this is personal. Whirlpool for me is a little easier to use, as when I pair it with Play Rough, I don't need to worry about the basic attack change. When you are in 1v1s, Whirlpool does a lot of damage. If you are able to always keep up with them, especially if you are able to get this move early game, 1v1 you are devastating. And of course, the health recovery each time a Whirlpool hits is quite nice. I do have two concerns with it though. Feel like not all the Whirlpool attacks hit consistently. So if all of them hit, it's supposed to go more like pop, 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 pop. In my 150 matches experience, sometimes the Whirlpool wouldn't hit even though I was like pretty much at the ideal distance. It would go a bit more like pop, 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 pop. And it's so weird because when the Whirlpool doesn't hit, you're just a little blue Easter egg that's just trying to hit you with basic attacks. Hey, it's Future Gems here. So there's still a couple of things I wanted to say. So anytime the face cam becomes like yeah, that's Future Gems. Anyway, so now I know the answer to this. So apparently moving clockwise against your enemy will grant more hits, and counterclockwise will reduce the number of hits. When they do all hit, it's a complete massacre 1v1. Now Aqua Tail though felt a little more flexible. With Aqua Tail I had more range, so I was able to hit enemies with a bit more distance. But Aqua Tail is also a move that changes your basic attack. So if I paired Play Rough with Aqua Tail, then I needed to make sure to use Play Rough first for the speed boost, then use Aqua Tail to override the basic attack change from Play Rough, so you can keep the speed boost but you change your basic attack into the stronger main move Aqua Tail. Also another thing is that Aqua Tail says it ignores defense and shield effects. Oh my god, it actually sounds better than what it is. It does ignore the shield effects and damage the health directly, but the damage it does is very little. Unless that Pokemon had very low actual health remaining, it isn't that easy to kill the enemy. To me, it would have been more accurate if it just said it ignores the shield effect solely and not the defense stat, to be honest. What are the moves I prefer to use? I would say I'm leaning towards, sorry, ignore what this guy's gonna say, because I didn't know what moves that I prefer, so I was going mumbo jumbo here. If I'm honest, right now I'm still not sure what moveset I prefer, what I think is the best, but I will have a separate video on what I think the best moveset hand build is. I will give you a quick summary. So what I prefer is Aqua Tail and Water Pulse, as Azuchan is a squishy Pokemon that doesn't dish great damage anyway in team fights. I feel a defensive approach is better. With Play Rough and Whirlpool, you will need to get very close to the enemy, making it super risky, especially if the enemy team was able to single you out in a team fight. You'll melt like cotton candy. But with Water Pulse and Aqua Tail, you can attack from a bit of a distance, and Water Pulse is able to damage and reduce the speed of multiple enemies at once. If I'm honest, I'm still not sure if I'll choose Aqua Tail over Whirlpool 100% yet, but I feel like this Pokemon is way better to try stay alive and keep on disrupting the enemy team rather than being the aggressor or aggressive Pokemon that tries to dish all the damage and deal the final blow. Belly Drum, the Unite move. It says sure hit. It is so easy to avoid being hit by this move, but it doesn't mean it's useless. This move has a super quick recharge rate like the Rat, the franchise, and the attack boost you get from smashing your belly 3 times I felt was actually quite big. Thanks to this, you could pretty much use it multiple times and further humiliate and secure the wins in 1v1s. The speed from using the Unite move, I could easily move around and try to target just one Pokemon for that critical damage even in team fights. So after all that, is it a good idea to buy and use this Pokemon? Well, despite Pokemon making sure that all the new Pokemon are now Gucci price every time.
Oh nah, I'm Gucci.
You're not hungry?
My reasons for why you shouldn't buy this Pokemon is just straight up there are better all-rounders. It's not bad, but it probably isn't the go-to Pokemon if you're going to play competitively. So why did I play this Pokemon more than 100 times? Is that because you're dumb, Gems? No. But if you thought that, I'll snap your wrist in half. So is there any reason to buy this Pokemon? Yeah. So in my opinion, this Pokemon is super fun to play. It's unique. You can feel confident and comfortable in most 1v1s if you're against a non-tanky Pokemon and if you don't go in too recklessly. And if used correctly, it can really shine. You know, in the upcoming updates, I'm pretty sure there might be changes to this Pokemon. Maybe for the better or worse, I don't know. So any leftovers, by that I meant if I have anything else left I want to say. In the upcoming updates, I think the Pokemon can be buffed in two ways. So one, either increase the damage output of this Pokemon. This could be increase in move damage or raising the critical bonus. The other way would be to increase the amount of health it regenerates. Because I think right now the main problem is that it's lacking damage or it's lacking survivability. If I'm gonna choose either two, I would say it should have more survivability. Tiny bit more boost would be nice in the damage, but more than that, I think the problem is how squishy it is and the survivability of the Pokemon. If the Pokemon has great survivability, I think you don't really need to do much to this Pokemon at all. But yep, that is about it. Is this Pokemon OP? No. No, no, no. In my opinion, playing 150 games, no. No. It is quite average, maybe sometimes a little bit above average. It can, in the right hands, maybe in crazy hands, carry a game to a certain extent. Comment down below what you think about this Pokemon and your experiences. I actually was really surprised at how average it was, especially after hearing or speculating how crazy this Pokemon seemed to be when the information of it was leaked. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like and subscribe. That would be very nice. And most of all though, thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you in the next video. See ya. Hum.